Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome. You are now watching a Roomful of Sky presentation. This is where we talk about anything and everything related to the new music video, Happy. And if you haven't already, please follow, like, and subscribe to Roomful of Sky channel, wherever you're watching this from, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Make sure you follow so that you can keep updated and on the upcoming great content that they present all the time. Every month they have new music showcases and more content like this. So make sure you follow. Okay, we are here because there's a new music video that just released literally like 16 minutes ago, and we're going to talk about that. But before that, let me just introduce you to the show, how we're going to present it, and what you're going to hear and see tonight. So my name is Louise. I love to chat with musicians, and that's why I'm here. Very honored to join this live stream. Very excited to chat with all the musicians and artists that were involved in this project. So what you're going to hear tonight is, first, we're going to introduce the singer-songwriter, the creator of the music, Happy, Rory D'Lasnow. We're going to ask him a few questions. You are invited to also join in the discussion and ask your questions. After Rory, we're going to invite Phil Robinson, who is the harmonica player in this music video. He's going to join the discussion. And then we'll invite Yasin Mohammed, who is the director of the music video. And finally, our lovely actors, Angelica and Mike, will also join the discussion. So more and more people will join us, but please feel free, chime in anytime. If we can get to your questions while we're talking, we'll do that. If not, we have saved time, 15-20 minutes near the end, where we will try to address all the questions that we see. So before we dive in and invite Rory, I have the first question for everyone who is watching. Hopefully, by now, you have watched the premiere of Happy. Drop in a comment. It could be a word, a sentence, an emoji. Now that you've watched Happy, how are you feeling, right? And if you haven't watched the music video, not to worry. I mean, it's 2021. We like to do things the reverse way. Rory plays the guitar upside down and backwards. So it's fine. Stay here in the discussion. Watch us talk about the project. And then you can go back and watch the video at a later time. Okay, so drop in your comment. And now let's welcome the first artist to join the live discussion, Rory D'Lasnow. Yay!
Hey, what's going on, Louise?
Congratulations, Rory.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to ask you to answer that question that I just asked everyone. How are you feeling now that Happy is live and shared with the world?
Oh, pretty excited. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really honored to be able to work with Phil Robinson and Angelica and Mike and Yasin and yourself. So, having been sitting on this for a while, I'm excited to be here and to have it out.
Yay! I have to say, I hope it's okay that I share that. About a little over a year ago, I had the privilege of hearing Happy performed by you on an acoustic version. Did it actually take more than a year for the music video to come together, or was the music video a relatively new decision that you decided to make it?
I think that once Phil and I decided to collaborate on the song, it came together pretty quickly. As I may have mentioned in our previous interview, Yassine had come up with essentially the rough idea of how the specifics of the music video would go based on his understanding of the song, and it was right on point. But generally speaking, as far as creating a video, the idea of it was pretty quick.
And so for those of us, for those that are watching who may not know enough about Happy, take us back, all the way back to the beginning of writing this song. Um, what was the backstory behind this beautiful
Sure,
song?
sure. Thank you. Just I guess the end of a romantic relationship. The way I see it, most romantic relationships that are not that don't end on a really acrimonious terms there's always that sort of bittersweet feeling of deciding whether you want to be friends or deciding whether you can be friends. So this sort of came out of the end of a relationship and trying to come to grips with the new dynamic. Um, and yeah, this song was sort of a coping tool, I suppose, at the time.
Yeah. Um, Kind of a side question. What is really your definition of happy, Rory?
Oh, just this completely unattainable, impossible sentiment. No,
Wow.
I would, I would say that the closest thing that I can understand happy as is just sort of being in the moment and just being really present, which is not always easy to do, but I think when you are in the moment and you are present, those are the moments that I'm happiest, at least.
Throughout the music video, and I'm sure those that have watched it would probably relate to this. I felt like you were sad the entire time from beginning to end. Even though you say bittersweet, I felt like this sad boy going on from beginning to end, and we didn't really see any smiles.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, have you seen the acting performance by Mike and Angelica? How could you not be sad? It's really evocative stuff. Yeah, I would just say that the wistful nature of the lyrics and the melody and Phil's harmonica part, which he added. Hey, thanks, Kenny. Um, they sort of that sort of got me into that mindset of being sort of contemplative, which can often look sad. I guess I have resting, you know what face. So.
Well, we're so glad to see you smiling and being happy, as you should be, because this premiere was amazing. And somebody just commented, dope video. So, right, really amazing.
It's my
Yeah.
buddy Kenny Beaver there.
Talk to us more about the filming of Happy. What was it like?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Getting to work with Yasin is such a pleasure. So, for those who don't know, the director Yasin Mohammed, will be hearing from later. We've worked together on a number of things, different photo shoots and live concert photography, and he's always been a joy to work with. But getting to work with him and his team on this video was just a real privilege. It was like watching a master at work. Phil and I kind of had an idea of what he was going to do, but seeing it all come to fruition and the execution of it was just something. It was something to behold.
Nice. So you mentioned, wait, somebody just commented, cool to hear the meaning behind the song. Yeah,
Thanks,
amazing.
Alex, and thanks, Vlad. What's up, Vlad? Sorry, just seeing some of the comments coming through here as well. So.
Yeah, please feel free to interrupt me anytime, address the comments. I have to admit that I cannot keep track of all the different windows where this is being projected to. So no problem. You mentioned working with Yasin, who we're going to invite in just a moment. You also mentioned Phil. Let's talk about Phil for just one moment before we bring Phil onto the show. What actually was, how did you roll Phil into this project?
Oh man, well, Phil and I became fast friends. Phil and I met at a house concert in the Upper East Side, and once we met, we hit it off right away. And Phil was gracious enough to invite me to play as a guest on some of his shows, because Phil often hosts shows and does a great job of getting everyone together. So this song became sort of my regular go-to song, and Phil liked it enough to want to be a part of it. So it just sort of happened serendipitously. It was two friends just hanging out and playing music, and when he showed interest in wanting to work together on it, I was happy to have him on.
Amazing. I think now is the perfect time to bring Phil here and join us in the live discussion. Hey, Phil.
Hello, Rory. Hello, Louise. Hello, people at home. Good to see you.
Who is this guy? Who let him in?
Fast friends, best buddies, and now you're co-creators of this beautiful music video called Happy. Phil, congratulations to you as well for a job well done. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm thrilled. I've been so thrilled with this whole project from the very beginning. It's often I wear many hats. Often I'm the singer, songwriter, producer, host. It's fun to just be Rory's sidekick. Just show up and play harmonica and not have to worry about anything else. So this has been a tremendous joy the whole time.
Nice. And did you have any reservations when Rory invited you to join the project? Were you worried about anything in particular?
No, you know what? It was actually the opposite. I inserted myself into this project. What happened was Rory is in New Jersey, I'm in New York, and the nature of our friendship has we've been this like interstate alliance where he was going to start hooking me up with good New Jersey show opportunities, and I was going to hook him up with good New York show opportunities. And one of the first and best ones was about a year ago. We were setting Rory up to play his first show at the Bitter End, which is a rite of passage, a very big deal. So I was promoting Rory's big Bitter End show through Roomful of Sky Music. And I figured, so long as I'm putting all this effort in promoting the show and all my people are going to be there to see Rory, I'm going to insert myself into the show, damn it. So I asked Rory, could I play harmonica on some of these songs? He sent me Happy, and he sent me Jade by the Goo Goo Dolls, which is a cover song that he wanted me to play harmonica on, and I spent a week trying to come up with a harmonica solo for this song Slide, and nothing I did sounded good. And then I tried to play harmonica to his recording of Happy, and within 5 minutes I had the whole thing. It just came together so organically and naturally that I felt like we had something good right from the very first moment.
That's amazing. And how about joining the music video? Did you also, was it a collaboration that you two decided, okay, we're going to make this together? Or did one person suggest the idea first?
I think it was me again. I think, Rory's very easy to push around. If you have
Who's the real boss here?
if you have a strong idea and you impress yourself upon Rory, often he'll just go along with you. So
God damn it.
So
Rory, please do my work for me.
Okay.
We had our first performance of Happy at the Bitter End, and I thought it went across really well. Like just as a piece of music, it was a very cohesive collaboration, and the audience responded to it so well that immediately after it ended, I turned to Rory and said, "Hey, we should record this." And it just kind of, "Hey, let's record it." And then it was like, "Hey, let's make a video." And then it's like, "Let's promote it." So yeah, we had a very clear plan from almost the beginning.
Wow. So if you're lucky enough to befriend Phil Robinson, the singer-songwriter, and impress him with your projects, he's going to help you along the way and make music videos, right? Hear from Rory. Give me a thumbs up.
It's
you
pretty.
You can be this depressed.
It's pretty mutual. Rory and I use each other for mutual advantage.
Well, let's talk about the music video. What was it like working together? You're both musicians, singer-songwriters. You're both creators of art, and obviously you have a lot of artistic ideas of your own. Did you have any conflicts while deciding what direction to go, or no? Share some juicy stuff with us.
Everything was such smooth sailing. We never disagreed on anything ever.
Wow, the
right,
perfect
Phil?
couple. The dream couple.
There we go. We're the dream team.
Well, yeah, I 100% disagree with everything Rory just said, and that was basically the process every step of the way. I had been working with Yasin for about a year as a photographer, and Yasin Mohammed, who our audience at home is going to meet shortly, he's had a fantastic career as a videographer, and as a filmmaker. He's made many very impressive videos for many artists. It's just I was blown away by his body of work. So for me, it was very natural to suggest him to Rory. So I think very quickly we were on board with the idea of working with Yasin. And I'll let Rory speak to this, but I think Rory and I both felt like we knew music very well, but we were a little bit lost when it came to the world of conceiving a video. So we kind of were the mind like, let's hire the expert and then hand it over to the expert and then get out of his way, basically.
Yes.
What were you guys like in front of the cameras? Yeah, sorry, I'll hand it back to you, Rory, to answer Phil's question and then my question about cameras.
Regarding Phil's question, yeah, completely. I'm totally lost when it comes to anything visual. I can write a song, but I can't figure out the video. So I was very glad that Yasin had ideas for it, and I agree with Phil. That was probably the one aspect of the process that was completely seamless. When Phil said, "How about Yasin?" and I said, "The guy that takes photos from the floor at all of our events." As Yasin is like the only photographer, I'm sure this is not like, he's not the only one in the world, but he's the only photographer I've ever worked with where when I'm playing, he's like contorted himself in the strangest positions from like the most dramatic angles. So I was like, yeah, that guy, he can work with us on anything. I trust him.
I have seen his photos. They are stunning. Beautiful.
They're great. They make me look tall, Louise. I don't know how he does it. It's amazing.
You do not need to look taller, Rory. You're always the tallest person in any room you walk into.
Well, and what was the second question?
Cameras. When cameras showed up on set, as musicians, how comfortable were you?
Well, at least for me, on the camera as a musician, I felt fine. I felt pretty natural. I think I hopefully came across pretty natural. As far as anything that even approached the concept of acting, though, forget it. I mean, I couldn't. There is this one scene that ultimately was kind of like cut very creatively from the video, where I was supposed to look at Phil sort of mischievously, and we were supposed to close the door, and it was like excruciating. We must have done like 25 takes, and it didn't even make it in at the end. So singing in front of a camera, I'm good, but not acting.
Some of you made it. Sneak preview. Don't turn away from this live stream. But we had a separate conversation. Myself, Rory, Phil, and Yasin. We had a separate conversation where we watched the video together. This was just a couple of weeks ago before it premiered. So we watched together, and they commented. They provided their commentary along the way, and that's something that Rory mentioned. It was that closing of the door scene, which is in a video that is on my channel, Offstage Tunes. But we'll share that link later on. So we'll keep the discussion here. But I'm so glad you mentioned it because I thought it was a cleverly shot. So we're gonna have to ask Yasin about that. But before we invite Yasin to our group, Phil, do we have the privilege of hearing a little harmonica solo from you at this point?
Sure, I'd be happy to play it. You noticed I just put my jacket on. My apartment is very cold. My teeth are actually chattering, so I'm going to try to play this harmonica solo.
Rory and I and all the audience members are making Phil a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yay, Phil!
He's not that comfortable in front of the camera like me.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here is the harmonica solo.
Take it away. Woohoo!
It's a little bit weird to play without the song, but there you go.
I think this is probably the one and only chance everyone here gets to hear this harmonica solo truly on its own.
There you go. Well, thank you for the opportunity to include that in this discussion.
Yeah, and for those of you who have watched the video, or if you watched it but don't remember, make sure you go back and rewatch the video, because Phil's harmonica solo was a pivotal point in the music video. It's kind of like the turning point. So at this point, we want to invite Yasin, who is the director of this music video, to our discussion. Welcome, Yasin.
Hi. Hey, everyone.
I'm going to just
Hi.
applaud spontaneously for Yasin because he is the man.
There was so much undue adulation passed my way. If I was capable of blushing, I'd be beet red.
Do you have anything to say about being the photographer who is known as being a contortionist and who takes photos from the floor?
That's not a lie. I always tell people if I don't like nearly injure myself for the photo, it's probably not good enough. So.
Oh, wow.
How could you not pick that guy for the video? I mean, come on. That's all I needed to hear.
It's true. If you've been to any of these music clubs in Manhattan, they are filthy. Like, don't go into the bathroom. Don't look at the floor. There's grease and grime. And, Yasin will lie down. His back will be fully pressed against the ground. Whatever he's got to do to get the shot.
I do believe in doing whatever you got to do to get the shot. This is true, though. I really do.
So did the filming of Happy require you to be close to the floor?
No, okay, so no. Happy was a really big endeavor for me. A lot of things changed from how I normally might get a video done. I told Phil and Rory when we first did this, I was like, we can do this like the budget way, or we can like really go all the way with it. And normally I'll shoot and edit a music video. It's a bit taxing on me, but it requires me bringing less staff. But they were like, no, we want to go all out. And so I actually had my director of photography, Marshall Wayne Cooper, do the hard video work. And I focused on directing. I focused on, the acting performances and everything. And actually Wayne wanted to, he sent me a little message. He wanted to let you guys know that it was, he had an amazing time working with you all, and it felt like magic grabbing all the shots in one day. So he did that.
Oh, well, thank you, Wayne.
It was
Pleasure on our end also.
That's very touching message from, I wish he could have joined, but well, you're representing Yasin. So yeah, we're hearing a lot of amazing comments from people. People really loved the video. I really loved the video. What was it like to direct two musicians? Not just one, but two. It was like having two bosses on set, right? What was that like?
Every musician is different in the way that they deal with like the music video process. Some of them are like natural actor, like they want the camera in their face as much as possible. And like, even though Phil and Rory like requested specific shots, when it was like time for, they were amazing performers, performing, no question. They just got into it. I would be like, Rory, like just really sing it all out. And Rory would like, there's so many great Rory performance shots. And there's so many great, Phil wanted a hero moment during a solo, and we really captured it because he was just playing so passionately. But then I was like, hey guys,
I wanted the sunlight streaming from behind my head.
Yes, so, it was awesome.
So Yasin completely delivered.
But then I was like, hey guys, act like for like 5 seconds. And they were like, so beyond that, I mean, working with them is awesome. I also just really, they were really trusting of my direction. And you can't do any better than that. It's a real blessing when people let you direct them and create something that really looks exactly how I had in my head. It's very, very rare that really happens with a set of musicians. So I had a great time.
I hate to kind of go back to the acting
Rory
again, but I'm just really curious. So because Rory touched on this, Phil touched on this, they were not very comfortable with acting. What was actually in the script, in the storyboard? What were they supposed to act? And what
boy.
actually didn't happen?
Okay, so just about their acting, not like what didn't make it.
Just the acting.
Okay, well, because I was about to say that's a big question. It was very simple. It was a door closing thing with like a little wink. It's still in the video, but like if you watch closely, you'll see like heads and bodies are kind of cropped out. Like you just kind of get Phil's like little smile. You kind of just get the side of Rory's body playing guitar. You don't really get
Their faces were supposed to be in the video.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like
Oh.
dead on, kind of looking at the camera like, "Hey," and instead it was kind of like,
"Yeah,
hey."
Rory and I, we took a look at ourselves, and we both decided we would be better off hiring some attractive actors to to be the focal point.
Well, at the initial stages, did you two actually consider being actors in the music video? Was it at any point going to be just Rory and Phil in the music video?
Rory and I were gonna be romantic.
Well, you don't have to. You could be like buddies, reminiscing about a lost relationship. It didn't have to be a bromance. I mean, of course, I wouldn't mind watching that either.
You want to take that?
I'm not going anywhere near this one.
Well, when we first Yasin mentioned earlier that he was talking about budget. When we spoke with Yasin and told him we were interested in a video, he did give us two options. One was the more economical version, which was actually not going to feature any other performers. It was going to be the two of us performing the song in various environments. And then he said, or we could, really have like a narrative and a story and have a couple actors that are characters and, depict a whole relationship from beginning to end. And that just basically was more expensive because we had to find acting talent, hire them. It would take more time. It would be more coverage and whatnot. So I think both Rory and I, and because it's two of us making this video, not just one, we basically had twice the resources. So we were like, we just sprung for, let's do the better thing, even though it's more expensive.
And I'm super glad that they did, because I knew when I heard the song the first time and when they asked me to finally do the video, I knew what I wanted to see. And even though like I had given them the other option, I was like, please don't pick the other option. Please don't pick the other option. Also, real quick shout out to Diocles Hernandez. I saw you. I'm so happy you're here. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, of course. Anytime. Interrupt me, connect with the audience. I unfortunately can't always do that because I'm paying attention to our conversation, but you guys, stop anytime. So Yasin, talk about the actors. We're going to invite the actors to join us in just a moment, but tell us about that experience, working the actors into the script and also keeping the musicians, Rory and Phil, in the picture. What was that like?
Okay, so wow, there's so many different ways to approach that. Really, there are. First of all, we had there's a lot of information that we had two really amazing actors, or actress if you're the kind of person who separates. But their performances were phenomenal. Directing them was like an absolute joy. And wow, like I there's not enough praise I could really heap on the experience with them, because there were moments that happened on set that I was not even really expecting to happen when I originally planned this out. I think Rory and I wound up speaking about this in our previous interview, about a particular handshaking motion that happens during the argument scene. And it was something that's so organic and so natural in that video. There's no way I could have written it out. There's no way I could have planned it. That's just actors doing actor things and being awesome. With regards to the balance, though, between musician and and the actors. My goal was just to kind of place Phil and Rory in this mystical background where they were always there, but they weren't. So it's like you were never missing them, and they had a very clear sense of space in the video. And then of course to make sure that where music took over was moments where they really shined, so that if Rory hits an emotional beat or Phil does a harmonica solo, like we need to make sure that yes, we're telling the story, but we have images in video that really captures the importance of the performance. So it wasn't that hard, because the way the song is constructed by Rory and Phil makes it very clear on an audible level where we want to see talent, acting, and where we want to see talent performing. And my goal as a director is always just to kind of create a video that looks like what the song feels like, and they had already mapped out a very cohesive story with the music.
I don't know if I'm the only one feeling this, but as I was watching the music video, I felt like Rory and Phil seemed like guardian angels, and kind of watching this couple, at a distance, not interfering, not commenting anything. I mean, there was supposed to be a wink that we missed, but kind of just observing, but in a kind way.
Yes, in a kind way.
Yeah.
In a benevolent, almost sort of fashion,
Exactly.
And
with rays of sunshine behind Phil.
Yeah. And still like sympathetic to the pain of the characters involved. They're not smiling when they're crying. They're not. They're in tune with what's going on.
Exactly. Well, I think this is the perfect time to bring Mike and Angelica, phenomenal actors. Welcome to our discussion. Woo! Mike and Angelica, everyone say hi to them. If you have any questions for any of these creators of Happy, type it in wherever you're watching, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Type in your questions. We may not get to it immediately, but we have a dedicated segment for Q&A later on today. So Mike and Angelica, welcome. Well, I'm going to throw the question to Angelica first. And Angelica, when you were first asked to whether or not to take on this project, what were some considerations that you had?
It was an immediate yes for me, because I've worked with Phil before and he's incredible. I actually didn't know Rory before we did the video, but once I heard the song and all of that jazz, I was so into it. And I've actually worked with Mike before too, in the same kind of feel, same kind of acting part. So it was something that I was definitely down for.
Wait, define the same kind of feel. What do you mean by that?
We were in another music video, actually. Actually, it's like a kind of thing, like a cycle that keeps happening. Me and Mike get cast pretty often as counterparts in a lot of projects. So it was something that was pretty natural.
Nice.
Well,
so you guys were already used to having that kind of on-camera chemistry.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Actually, could I interject very, very quickly that the way that Angelica introduced me to the concept of Mike as a person that exists was she sent me the link to a previous music video that they in which they had portrayed a romantic couple, which was "You're So Mean" by the band Sammy J.
Yeah.
I had booked Angelica to play one of my speakeasy sessions on Staten Island, and on her night, she was requesting if she could pull in her good friend Mike to also perform that night. So to basically ask me, could we have this guy as part of the show? She sent me that video. So I had from the very beginning, I knew that they made a great on-camera, high chemistry, hot romantic couple. So when Yasin requested a couple, I immediately was like, I have just the pair.
Wow. Okay, well, let's give Mike a chance to tell us about his decision process. Mike, did you have any reservations about participating in this Happy project?
Honestly, it's kind of similar to what Angelica was saying. It's just Phil called me as I was like getting ready to walk back into work. and I was just lingering on the phone, and he started winding up to say something about, we want you to do this thing. And before he even finished, I was like, you know, this is a yes before you finish saying what you're saying, right?
Wow, Phil.
Yeah. Kind of because, like, again, because of what Angelica was saying, like, Phil is just a super radiant guy. He has lots of great ideas.
Yes.
And I met Rory at what was that place called? Wow, it's
Crossroads.
Crossroads, yes. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Phil actually booked me out. I met Rory there, and he was just this super humble, encouraging, and nice dude who played an awesome set. So I was like, yes, no more questions, yes.
That's amazing. I mean, what a terrific start to the project. To have people so passionate about it even before knowing the details. So fast forward a little bit. You've been briefed about Happy and the song, maybe what the roles that you're going to portray. Mike and Angelica, how did you each prepare for your roles? Let's start with Mike first.
Okay. Well, to start, I needed to know all the kind of basic details as far as where is this character in life, what is he, what's he doing, what what kind of job does he have, what is he, why is he out in the first place when he meets this girl, and then I started to construct my visual appearance based around that. We actually talked about that, Angelica and I, just to kind of make it as believable as possible and realistic. And then the rest was just, going through a roller coaster of a relationship, which, I've done that before. So I was prepared already.
Did you have to kind of imagine yourself as Rory, or did you invent a new character to fit the story?
Interesting. No, I didn't imagine myself as like 4 inches taller than I actually am.
Much less
that would have been
handsome,
cool, though. That would have brought some more confidence to the role. No, I kind of separate. I kind of created this whole new thing. I'm kind of like Yasin was saying before. I thought of Rory and Phil more as the observers and storytellers through the song, and they were there. I was here, and we were doing the thing.
Yes, if I may interject, Mike actually had a lot of questions. Like good in a good sort of way. He was always kind of coming back to me to just find new pockets of inspiration about who this character was. And I always appreciate that. Like it's good to start getting into characters' heads.
And Angelica, I'm gonna pass the baton to you to tell us about how you prepare for your role.
Yeah, similar to what Mike said, and he touched on, me and him actually had like a couple of conversations before filming, because the briefing was very detailed. There was a lot to it, but at the same time, me and him kind of spoke behind the scenes before filming, trying to figure out like how we were going to go about talking about basically the backstory of the relationship and backstory of our characters specifically.
Yeah. And how many times did you each listen to the song Happy?
The song too much. I listened to it a bunch of times.
Did you know, have you heard Happy before you agreed to be take a part in this music video?
No.
Ah.
No, remember I agreed before having any details. He could have been.
But you could have heard it in another showcase.
You're going to be
like a death metal jam.
I was just going to say that, Phil. You beat me to it. I was just going to say he could have casted me in some kind of romantic death metal thing where I had to wear eyeliner down to here, and I was like, I already agreed to do it. So thank God it was a good song.
Could have made it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to go to the specifics in your roles as actors or actor and actress, if you prefer. They were telling me, as you may have heard in our previous conversation, Yasin, Rory, Phil, and I had a separate discussion where we just went through the whole music video, and they commented along the way about what each segment was about. And at one part, they mentioned that you two, you just kind of went on and on with, fighting as a couple, and it seems so real. You had details, and you actually it seemed like a real fight, which actually really amazed them. They weren't expecting that. They were probably expected some, some ad lib where you weren't really saying anything that anyone could understand. But you actually had specific details that you actually were fighting about. Was that something that you came up with on the spot, or did you guys script out something before you even arrived on set that day?
No, we came up with it on the spot. I remember we were talking about it on the way to the shoot. We were like, well, it's going to be hard for us to fight. What would we fight about? And then when we were sitting on set, we were trying to think up something to fight about, because it's easier to actually have something to say and play along with it than to just sit there and pretend like you're fighting without actually saying anything. So we came up with the concept of that he got a job offer somewhere across the country and he had to leave me. And that was what we were fighting about.
Oh, wow.
We were actually.
Rory, at any point in your life did that happen?
No, it hasn't happened. It was completely imaginative.
And what about you, Rory? Was that accidentally relate to your real life experience?
No, not really.
Okay. I was hoping for some magical coincidences.
Well, I have to chime in now for my girlfriend, Njolka Abar, who's watching at home. Hi, Njolka. We were all brainstorming the topic of the fight. We were about to film the fight scene, and it was her idea. She said he has to move away for his job, and she can't go with him. And she kind of said it out loud, and Mike and Angelica heard it, and they ran with it and built it there. So I just want to give credit where credit is due.
Yes. And now we know, Phil, you must never get a job across the country when your guy cannot follow you, because that would be disaster.
Well, I actually think that her suggestion came from some personal experience on her part. But that was like a one-sentence summary, and this all happened immediately. They were about to film the fight scene, and it was just like, okay, what's the fight about? He's moving cross-country, and they have to break up. Go, action. And Mike and Angelica just immediately embodied that situation. And you can't hear it in the music video because the soundtrack is the song, of course. But in person, when they shot the scenes, they both improvised all of their dialogue and their characters, and it was powerful. Like the air in the room changed. You did not seem like you were watching two actors. You literally felt like you were eavesdropping on this intimate couple breaking up, and it was that real. So yeah, they just really made this living scene out of it.
The air in the room changed. I remember that. Like everyone was like really hype about what was going on. The fight happens and everyone was like, "Oh."
Can I just say that I'm so glad you guys actually found that part to be magical, because that was easily the most difficult part for me to actually because I mean, Angelica actually agreed with me, but like, I mean, I know I'm so not like an arguer. I remember at one point I was saying something like, I don't understand why you can't just be happy for me. And I said it as I was saying it, I was like smiling a little bit because I was like, this is just how I would say it. And Yasin was like, okay, that was good. One more time, can we actually do it less smiley? I was like, oh, crap. I'm sorry, man. Okay, this is serious. That was tough. I won't lie.
Wow. And Yasin, it sounds like they were doing already such a great job acting. It probably made your job as a director much easier than directing Phil and Rory, right?
Oh yeah, certainly. Directing Mike and
when I get my Grammy, my Oscar, whatever, come find me.
Careful, they're two different awards.
I don't even know. Emmy.
But
some award.
They're just naturals, and it's you know, no, not in a disrespectful way to Phil and Rory, you know, in any capacity, but some people just are really easier to direct than others. It's you know, it's a special type of skill to be able to be directed, because what you're really doing is you're taking a set of instructions and you're figuring out how to best translate it into, you know, what works for the medium, and that is its own sort of art.
Right. And you see, for, you know, somebody who wants to create a music video and maybe want to work with musicians, what advice would you have for other musicians who may want to explore this, knowing that you've had such a great collaborative kind of effort with all of these people here in this live chat?
Yeah, that feels weird to be in a position where I'm like revered enough to give advice, but
we're revered by all of us here.
Thank you.
That counts.
But what I will certainly say is that for me personally, and I can't give this advice to everyone, it's a blanket statement, but I find it's just best to not wing it. You want to wing it enough to leave room for creativity, you know, but as much as you can prepare in advance. Work on capturing what the song feels like in the visuals. I feel like every song impacts someone emotionally in a certain way when they hear it, or at least it should. It makes you think something, and whatever that emotion is, your job is to use all the tools, and tools include the artist and the actors and the settings and the shot composition to evoke the feeling in a visual manner. And that's the one thing I think everyone can at least benefit from, is communicating feeling.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And while Angelica is probably taking care of a dog, I have a question for Mike, and that is, in your experience working with Rory and Phil, they're kind of the musicians that are kind of all around you as you're trying to act. What was that kind of interaction like? Because you're obviously in the music video, you're supposed to be not able to see them, right? They're invisible to you, but they're there, like on the doorstep, right behind you as you're walking. Did that affect your acting at all? Or did it help enhance because you're hearing them perform the music that you're a part of?
Having them perform the song live definitely brought it to the moment. At the same time, I also remember this moment where they were sitting on this stoop and this certain configuration, and Angelica and I were walking past, and Yasin was like, just totally pretend they aren't there. So I was like, okay, just gonna step around. And in that moment, I was like, all right, they're not here, they're gone. And that just kind of helped me, you know, get in my zone a little more and understand that they're really just ethereal, otherworldly beings that are totally invisible to me. So I really just kind of put it separate on camera, and then off camera it was just hanging out with friends, so it was cool.
Nice. Did it help to have musicians on set while you're acting, or was it more difficult?
Well, as I was saying, I really did like that Rory was there with his guitar and Phil with his harmonica, and they were actually able to play the song live as opposed to just pressing play whenever we needed to kind of get into it. It almost made it feel like a live performance instead of a music video, which did help. So there we go.
So I was told that you are also a musician. You play the guitar, and at one point there was supposed to be a scene where you just took Rory's guitar. Am I remembering this correctly?
Basically, I was using the guitar in the video, I think, to charm the lady at that certain point in the relationship when you say, hey, let me play for you. And at the end, there's this little, I'm correct, right? There's in the end, he steals it back and says, what are you doing?
That was the original intended ending of the video. We've been talking about how there's the two real humans, Mike and Angelica, and then the two musicians who are like the ghosts, and we never interact. So we kind of thought it would be fun to have a moment of interaction. And we thought that in the montage, the Mike and Angelica falling in love montage, there's a scene where Mike is playing guitar for Angelica on the couch. And that was Rory's guitar, which was there obviously on the set because Rory had it. And then we thought that the funny ending of the video would be if at the end, Mike and Angelica are on the couch and Rory is like pissed off and he kind of walks over and he takes his guitar back from Mike. So he had to like walk across behind the couch, give Mike a dirty look and be like, that's my guitar. And that was the scene that we actually spent the most time on that day. That was Rory's big acting moment. And
never made it into the final cut. Sorry, Rory.
There are other reasons for that.
Tell us.
Because Mike and Angelica are such wonderful actors, we didn't want to end it on a hysterically funny note of me coming in and making my big acting debut.
Let's turn to Yasin for the director's
the objective opinion.
Why did that scene actually never made it into the final cut?
Okay, well, that scene didn't make it, and this is the real reason, because by the time the initial thought was that would end off the video. It seemed like a fun, appropriate, lighthearted way to take the end of the video. When it's all over, we've gone through all this fun stuff. Rory reminds everyone that I am in fact a musician, and so give me my guitar back. But when it's very easy to like kind of think something in the process of shooting, and then hit the editing room and kind of things change up. And by the time the story had really bared itself out visually, in the editing process, it was brought down to a number of timeline elements. It was very clear that it was a serious video, and it was starting to it was, even as I was editing it, it was impacting me emotionally, and a comedic ending just wasn't the correct ending anymore. Which was exactly why I made the decision to end it when Angelica's character walks back into the room. Mike's character looks at her, and it's this instant sort of cut that leaves things more or less in the air. But still, like it allows your imagination to go positive if you want it to, and negative if that's where you wanted it to head anyway. And that's why I didn't make it. It just didn't fit the vibe anymore.
Right. Okay. So for those that are watching who may not know this, I believe Mike and Angelica did not see the final video until tonight. Am I correct? Mike, is that correct?
Correct for me. I can speak.
They kept it a surprise from you. And I want to hear more about how you felt after watching it for the first time. But first, I want to turn our attention to Rory, because we would love if, Rory, you could perform an acoustic version of Happy for us, if you wouldn't mind.
I'm totally shocked by this. I don't have my guitar or anything.
Are you going to hold it the correct way now?
No, Louise. God
Never,
damn it.
never.
Even though it's really Mike's guitar, as per his theft on camera.
Oh.
I'll take it.
And phenomenal playing it back.
Seriously,
The
guys.
floor is yours, Rory.
I'm not sure if there will be another opportunity to plug Mike and Angelica's music, but check them out. Mike has a new song upcoming, and I believe Angelica does as well. They both
Angelica's already released a new single on Spotify as we speak.
Literally right
We
now.
will have time. We will have time, assuming, Rory, you don't take up 10 minutes playing your song. We will have time, so we'll make sure to tell more about their music.
Okay, I'm going to do the Freebird solo in the middle of the song.
All right.
This song is called Happy. You say that it's hard to run away, walking on a cold night, holding on each other so tight. The tide was rolling inwards at our backs. Seems like nothing else back then. Things were so much better back when. We had our wits about us. We'll have to do without our yesterdays. So long, how my weary heart is drawn, alive from where I am to wherever you might be. I am a winning flicker in the dark, but you will never be alone, long as my light can lead you home. And I would be remiss if I stood in the place where someone else should. Darling, it may take some time, but someday you will be just fine. You and me walking on a cold night, holding on each other so tight. The tide was rolling inwards at our backs. Seems like nothing else back then. Things were so much better back when. We had our wits about us. We'll have to do without our yesterdays. Solo here. Even
part.
if we never get it right, we'll be alright. 'Cause darling, you will always be the love of my life. I don't think we can get it synced up. You and me walking on a cold night, holding on each other so tight. The tide was rolling inwards at our backs. Seems like nothing else back then. Things were so much better back when. We had our wits about us. They never thought to doubt us. We'll have to do without our yesterdays. Thank you guys.
That was beautiful, as always.
Thank you.
I've been texting with Angelica. The router in her at her house crashed.
Oh no.
So
no.
we're trying to get her a link so she could dial in on her phone. So we're working on getting Angelica back.
Love that song, Rory. One of
Thank
my
you,
favorite
buddy.
songs, man. My wife was uncontrollably humming it behind me.
So was I.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Rory, even before I started collaborating with you on this song, just in the knowing you for a few months where we would see you perform it, 3 or 4 different people independently mentioned to me that was their favorite of your songs.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
Thank you, 3 or
think I
4
also-
miscellaneous people. Oh, you said,
Not
Louise?
miscellaneous. I count myself among them. Quickly in August last year, I had a live stream to celebrate. Anyway, my own channel, but somebody asked me during the show, "What's your favorite song that is about a sad song?" And I said, "Happy."
Oh, thank you, Louise.
I really do love the song, but
Well,
I
Rory,
did miss the harmonica solo.
sorry to interrupt, Rory. It is Niolka's favorite song of yours.
Oh.
And
Well-
and one reason why I thought Yasin would be a good director is that even before Yasin knew that we were recording or making a video, when we had hired him to just photograph one of your shows at the bitter end that night, he had said to me that was his favorite of your songs.
He was just
So-
playing the long game. He thought there might be a video and he could secure my business.
Not
It worked.
Well, either way, it's still complimentary.
No,
So, yeah.
I remember.
Appreciate it.
I remember the first time I heard this song, I was really like, I don't know, like it's something about it. That same feeling. I love when like songs and moments and like things people do, like change the energy in a room, and Happy often does that when I see it performed live. I think every artist that's in the Roomful of Sky kind of collective, I can think of like that one song they have that when it's performed, like room energy changes, and for Rory it was always Happy.
Thank you, man.
I think, Rory, now is the perfect time to reiterate to everyone where they can find Rory, where they can watch the music video. I think that I saw one comment somewhere where somebody was trying to find that video.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, you can find this stuff on the internet. Sorry. No,
So helpful.
The song is available on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon. The video is, of course, on YouTube. We may put it on Facebook at some point. We were discussing that at one point. But for now, it is exclusively available on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Rory D'Lasnow. Yeah, I think that sums it up, right?
There's a version on Offstage Tunes with commentary,
Yes.
which you can also watch, and includes Rory, Phil, and Yasin commenting on the video. Okay, back to Mike.
Cool.
I said I was gonna.
Oops, sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Rory.
I was going to say
I
there's
will
one
let
from
you.
Pete's Candy Store too that we had shot back in
Yes.
the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we had done this at the Roomful of Sky end of year concert last year at the Bowery Electric, and Rory, you haven't seen this yet. That was professionally filmed with a 2-camera shoot, and I'm having it edited together. So we're gonna have we're gonna have some additional live video of this, but we do have the one that Louise was just mentioning from Pete's Candy Store on one of the episodes of Offstage Tunes.
Yep, that was a Roomful of Sky and Offstage Tunes collaboration where they performed it before it was even released. So an early look at the song. And I think in one of our earlier discussions outside of this discussion tonight, I think, Phil, you mentioned that you think over those months since it was filmed at Pete's Candy Store and when it was filmed as a music video, you guys have played better. I think you picked up the tempo a little bit, and the duet came together even more. Is that right?
Yeah, I don't think we had made any conscious creative changes to the song, but just over months of performing it multiple times, it just very naturally, we got better at our parts, got a little bit more of an intuitive sense of how it all fit together. And when I go back and listen to original versions, they're much slower than we do it now. And I think the sped up tempo is an improvement. Actually, one quick anecdote. The harmonica solo, I had written it a different way. And the first time we performed it at the bitter end, I actually played a completely incorrect note and made a mistake. It was horrible. It wound up, I was on stage at the bitter end, I was like, ah. And then when I watched videos of that first show, I thought, that note is actually much better than what I was intending to do.
We have to redo the song, guys. Don't watch this.
So then from that point in, I just played it that incorrect way every time, and that's now what the song is.
It didn't sound incorrect to me. I think it just sounded natural, the way it should be.
Yeah. So you only get happy accidents like that when when you're working with a song live, when you're performing it. That's why you should always, before you record anything, you should perform it like many times over the span of a few months and really get it like road hardened, and then record it.
Happy accidents, pun intended.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Walked right into that one.
Well, I want to go back to Mike, because before Rory's performance, I had asked Mike, I had given Mike a preview that I'm going to ask you about your feedback on Happy, the music video, having it after just watching it today, because it was kept secret from you, and you watched it about an hour and a half ago. What were your feelings after the conclusion of the music video?
It was beautifully shot. That was the first thing I thought. Since I saw the some of the stills early on. I was like, wow, so this is what it's like to be part of an awesomely shot and filmed production. And then immediately after that astonishment and amazement followed the self-consciousness, and I was like, whoa, that's me, oh my God. Yeah, but honestly, like, from the first time I saw like any rough clips, or Phil sent me some stuff a couple months ago probably, I remember thinking, wow, they hired the right guy, meaning you, Yasin. I was like, they definitely hired the right guy. It was just I've worked on a handful of projects thus far, and honestly I can say that Yasin was able to make me feel that I was part of something on like almost like another level in a few different ways. So I was very pleased to be to be a part of it, self-conscious or not. that'll pass. But what won't pass is how happy I was. I'm just not going to say happy anymore. How pleased I was to be part.
Please keep saying happy. It's gonna help this video.
Yeah.
But Mike, one last question about your feedback on Happy. Did you have a favorite moment from the music video?
I actually really like when Angelica and I and Rory and Phil behind us are walking on the street and we're just kind of done with the whole thing. And I decided to go with the all black, and she's going with something that is a little more, kind of grim than what she was wearing earlier. And our faces are just saying like, why the hell am I still doing this? Like, this doesn't even make any sense. And I thought that kind of really captured this is not going anywhere. Although, despite, Yasin mentioned that it can kind of go either way at the end, I just thought that at that moment you feel like, wow, you guys are really spent. Just watching us walk down the street, just not even like hold hands, and kind of just these faces that just say, what, did I just waste all my time? That's my favorite moment. It's kind of a dark fear moment to have, but I'm owning it.
I already know Yasin's favorite moment. I know Rory's favorite moment. We talked about it in another video. For the sake of time, I'm not going to revisit that for now, but I want to turn the attention to Phil and ask Phil, did you have a favorite moment?
I did, and I am going to just be very vain because the moment does include me, but it was the moment I specifically asked for because, this is Rory's song. I wanted the song to be his baby, and it's Yasin's video, and I wanted the video to be his baby. So I'm just being respectful of my small part that I play playing harmonica. So we went into it, and the one thing that I wanted in the video, I just wanted to have one moment, which I called my hero shot, where I just wanted like the dramatic, glorious playing the harmonica, and I imagined the sunlight behind me streaming past my head. And I didn't even describe that to Yasin. I just told Yasin, look, I know the video's not about me, but I just want like my one good shot so I have something to put on Instagram. And and then he put us in the street, at the right time of day with the sun behind us, and he let that be my harmonica solo moment. So I got the exact thing I was dreaming of. So thank you, Yasin. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just wanted to comment. You said right time of day, and I feel like we did not give enough credit to how good that day was.
Oh, it's perfect.
Because the weather was great. The sunshine was perfect. There was not a bothersome cloud in the sky. We wound up at one of our locations by accident, and it was definitely the most beautiful location in the video. It was the sunlit restaurant. We literally walked in there. It was just like, maybe we'll film here. And they had no problems with it whatsoever. Like perfect again. Perfect day is so very difficult to describe when it comes to like that day just worked out for us. Like nothing went wrong. It was ridiculous.
The universe wanted this video to exist.
Yeah, certainly.
I do have to share one tidbit. Again, for the interest of time, we're not going to go into details, but did we talk about the neighbors not loving you guys on the block for so long? There's a
Hey,
little
Rory.
bit. It was
What's that?
Rory's
Yes, May.
guitar playing.
They
is
were not one of the
too
3 or
loud.
4 miscellaneous fans of the song.
Maybe after tonight,
Well,
they
we
will be converted.
During
There you
that
go.
scene where we were just talking about, when we were on the street in front of the house with the sun behind us, the people who lived in the house in front of us actually called the police on us because it wasn't just the 2 of us musicians and 2 of us actors. It was like a whole film crew. It was like 12 people with all the gear and the video camera, and then Yasin was holding up the big what is the thing?
A reflector. Yeah,
The reflector to get the sun. So it was like it was a big circus. So if I lived in that house, I also would have called the cops to get these kids off my lawn. But in this case, we were the kids on the lawn, so we got kicked off.
But at least you got your hero shot, and everything, all the shots Yasin needed was captured.
Yeah, big shout outs to the other people in the film crew, by the way, that Phil mentioned. Kwesi Aaron, who actually held one of the locations for us until we arrived when we went behind schedule. My wife was there. Niolka helped. Everyone was on set helped. So like they all deserve credit.
And we had our other favorite photographer, Daria Huxley.
Yes, Daria did such awesome
followed
photos.
us around that day for 6 hours, and she took all the behind the scenes photos, which you've been seeing on our social media. So it was a very large crew.
Yeah, Daria killed it. That was awesome.
Yeah. So congratulations to everyone on the Happy crew. We have just 2 minutes left. I do want to point out to everyone who's watching that you can connect with all the artists here. You can see their handles next to their names, so find them on social media. Mike is also a musician, so check out his song. And for the last final 2 minutes that we actually have a surprise. Could we please have a close-up on Rory's camera, please? And Rory, we have what happened? You dropped out. There we go. We have a little gift for you. You have a secret admirer who commissioned an artwork, and let's show him this. We need some drum roll to fill in the suspension. Maybe some harmonica solo. There we go. Rory, any guess? Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And that is a gift from our friend all the way from Italy, Enchanted Marvel,
Yes.
who made this hand-drawn illustration of Happy, where
that's
you
so
and
wonderful.
Rory, you and Phil are at the center, wrapped around by fun little musical notes. It is a perfect representation of the image that we see at the bottom left of the screen. Pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much, Laura.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
That is very cool.
Yeah,
Rory, you have some talented admirers.
I like the Mike and Angelica silhouettes on both sides too.
Yes.
That's really
Both
great.
phases of the relationship.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The
That's
bitter
wonderful.
and the sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enchanted Marvel.
So
on
really
Instagram.
amazing.
Check
I
out
think,
her
is that
artwork.
a digital version of the artwork, or do we have a printout as well for Rory?
Well, I think the artist in Italy has the original. I don't think we've printed it out here. She sent a high quality scan, and she got it to us in time for this event, so it made sense. Let's just throw it into the event and get Rory's reaction on camera.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
This is years down the road. This is going to be a highly sought after collectible, which Rory may or may not share with everyone when he's performing at Madison Square Garden. So
when
we
I
shall
win my
see.
Golden Globe.
Yes.
There we go.
So nice. Look at it.
It's
Beautiful.
fantastic.
So thank
Wow,
you
that's great.
again to Enchanted Marvel for this illustration. And I think now that we have this, we have Happy the musical release, we have Happy the video, and we have Happy a drawing. So you've got artwork in all formats. And with that, that is the end of our show. If we did not get to answer your questions, again, connect with the musicians here. Follow Roomful of Sky. You can still drop your comments. One of them will respond to you. And please go watch the music video if you haven't already. And if you have watched the video already, then there's another commentary version that you can watch at the Offstage Tunes platform. And we thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much for spending the very first Monday of 2021 with all of us. And thank you, creators. Congratulations. Beautiful job. Well done.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Louise.
Very good. Thank you all for watching at home. And this is a fun night, you guys.
Yay.
Let's
Thank
make.
you. This was.
What are you doing next Tuesday? Let's make another video.
Yes.
Time will
All right.
soon
Good
come.
night. This is a Roomful of Sky presentation, and make sure you follow Roomful of Sky. Have a great night, everyone.
Night.
Good night,
Night.
guys.
Bye.